Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. This is a TNN interview with Geoffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. Yes, you heard that right. Toys R Us Geoffrey the Giraffe is planning a presidential run in 2032. So today we will be interviewing him in today's interview. Please do not forget to check the description. We have everything there and all the information you need in order to join the Discord, plus plenty of other information. We are currently underway in the 2028 presidential election. However, as everybody knows, it is not early for anyone to consider a presidential run in American politics. So for today, I want to introduce the interviewee, Geoffrey Giraffe. Can you make your introduction?
Hello, people. I'm Geoffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us, and I am planning to make a presidential one in 2032.
Okay, thank you for that. So, you plan to make a presidential run. Why do you choose to make it so early?
Well, you see, I think if I one start the campaign or start the thing early, it will give me more time to build my campaign. And always, if you start early, you have a bigger chance of winning. If you get more experience in it, if you won longer, you have more better chances to winning. So that's why I'm
Okay,
starting.
right. So moving on, let's start with our very first question. Now, I do want to tell all my viewers tonight that all the questions were asked here. It were also asked by Shamrock, the Republican, out of fairness, because TNN is a bipartisan news outlet. So we do consider all questions to be previously asked. We do have some special edition questions that were not previously asked as well, but most of the questions tonight that will be asked were the same question that was asked for the Republican nominee for the vice presidency. So, anyway, let's begin. The first question is that we have here is aliens have met with Vice President Lenore Kim and are seeking a meeting with the incumbent president Christopher Oliva. What do you what will you do with the current information that you have now when dealing with aliens? Just assuming that if you were the current incumbent president and you were currently the president right now, what would you do if you found out that aliens wanted to meet you?
Uh, so basically, I think meeting with them is a good idea, but there could be chances of something like bad happening, like a very bad thing, kind of like what happened with Jimmy Carter. But aliens could kill Leo or anybody who comes with them. We don't know how dangerous or anything are. So if I was the incumbent and was meeting with them, I would probably have a lot of bodyguards just in case anything bad happens. And I hope everything comes out right.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. So, what is your current opinion on the current administration in regards of its dealing with the aliens? Now, it is too early to tell. I have the news just broke today with the current administration, and the incumbent president is still waiting to make a scheduled meeting with the extraterrestrials. What is your opinion on the matter, and how do you believe it will be handled? Do you think it will be peaceful?
I hope it's gonna be peaceful, and I think it is gonna be peaceful, and I hope President Oliva will do everything peaceful like the Somalian pirates, like he did with that, and peacefully do the situation and actually not have to go to war or start a big war with the aliens and stuff.
Okay. So, according to average day Americans who were recently polled in this most recent polling out of our news network, only 31% of respondents say that they believe that the meeting with aliens would be a successful one with the incumbent president. However, 62% of respondents say that they believe that it will end up extremely badly if the incumbent president is meeting with the alien. However, only 8% believe that it will end up in an average meeting, just like any other world leader meeting. What is your opinion on this?
Well, we haven't dealt with anything like this before, so obviously not everyone's gonna think it's gonna be average, and everyone's gonna think it's gonna go bad. Because what we depict aliens is all bad stuff, and we don't know what's gonna happen. But we do hope nothing bad happens, and we hope it goes good.
Okay, so the next question I really like to ask in regarding extraterrestrials and aliens is: would you support an extraterrestrial as the future possible president of the United States? Only 15% of respondents say that yes, they agree that they would love to have an extraterrestrial as president. However, 54% of those in the same poll have said that no, they would not support an alien for president, with only 31% saying that they are unsure at this time. Where do you stand on this issue?
Well, I think it should not be wide of people that are not even on the planet Earth to become president of a nation which has so much power, and that could end deadly for the United States and the world as I know it. If if the aliens are bad, that would just make it worse if we have an alien president who has the most power and could literally end the world with a press of a button. And that's the truth. So that's why a lot of people don't want an alien as president.
Right. So now speaking on this, and this is the last question regarding extraterrestrials, is there's another poll that was also released today. Is asks, how do you feel about the meeting with Vice President Donald Trump with extraterrestrials will go? The White House plan was to have the Vice President meet with the extraterrestrials in regard that if the extraterrestrials were to kill or murder the Vice President, it wouldn't affect the leadership at the top. So, when polled and asked multiple Americans, 6% stated they believe that this will go smoothly for the administration, with 13% believing that it will just go fine or average, with 31% saying that they believe that we will end up in a situation of war, with 44% believing that Vice President Donald Trump will or replaced with the shapeshifter, and only percent believe that there's another possibility being considered at this time. What is your opinions on this?
Well, I really can't change the public's mind, but I think a lot of people are scared in the fact of aliens. So obviously they all gonna have their different opinions. But mostly mo- sorry. So
Are you there?
yeah, yeah. I'm just having problems.
Okay,
Um
so maybe that was the wrong question to ask. So we will move on and we're going to the next question. We have here aliens have arrived to the United States White House. After decades of sightings, how are you feeling about the knowledge or knowing that Vice President is meeting with extraterrestrials? Here's what average day Americans have to say about the issue. Only 10% of those respondents say that they feel amazed about the issue, with 20% saying that they feel shocked, with 0% saying that they are sad that this is occurring, with 10% of Americans on average saying that they do not care about what's going on, with 20% saying that they are scared or in a state of fear, with 0% saying that they are in a state of hatefulness, 10% believe this means war, and 20% believe that we should do an act of diplomacy, and 0% believe that we should allow them to become citizens of the United States. We would like to know here at TNN, how do you feel?
well, I think we should always be peaceful and not cause a big war, which could end our entire world with it. We don't know the strength of the aliens, and I believe the peacefulness is the way to go, not war or and also I get a lot of people being in shock and scared because we don't know how much powers they can do, and they can just wipe out the world like that. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for this. We're going to move on to the next question. What is your opinion on the assassination of former RNC chair, Vice Chairman Jimmy Carter? Suspect Christina Haley has fled the nation and sought citizenship in Saudi Arabia. Not to mention that your alias, Owen Haley, is related to Christina Haley. What is your response?
Well, we all know it's not suspect. Even Shambok knows it's not suspect. It's literally Christina Haley, and Christina Haley should be like what should happen with Christina Haley is what we did with Osama bin Laden, and with Owen and stuff. Owen did nothing wrong, and he's just related to Christina Haley, so he shouldn't. If he hasn't done anything, he shouldn't be in jail or anything bad, because Owen is just related with Christina Haley, but not actually did the crimes. So yeah.
Okay, next question. What is your administration's plan to keep the economy moving and growing if the Republican nominee Louis Amaya wins the White House this November? Do you believe that Louis Amaya, if he was to become the presumptive winner for the White House, do you believe that the economy will remain stable?
Well, that's really what if Lewis does good or bad, but I'm hopefully the economy's gonna be good, and I think it's gonna be for the best of our people. And
Okay.
okay.
So at this also, I would like to also ask is, what is your administration plan to keep the economy moving and growing if, just say, the Democratic nominee, Rainbow Dash, wins the White House this November?
Well, it's around the same thing. With Lewis, if Rainbow Dash does good and actually does the stuff to keep the economy perfect, like Christopher Olivia did, I
Oliva.
think we would be good. Our economy would be good, but we have to see, and we all hope it's going to be a good economy and it's going to stay a good economy with any party's nomination.
And what is your administration's plan to expand the economy and prevent a depression or a recession? Do you have any plans that you would like to propose tonight?
Well, we all plans to make more jobs for people and make more stuff for people, and keep on making the economy grow and not be a 1930 disaster with a Hobart Hoover presidency.
Okay. Current Vice President Lenore Kim is extremely unpopular throughout the nation. What would you do if you shared the same popularity as him?
Well, I think I wouldn't. I really think it's really up to the American people what they approve or disapprove. But Leo Nod Kim is disapproved mostly Republicans and Democrats and independents. But there are still people who approve of him, and there's still the people who's unsure. But I think I wouldn't if I was popular as him, I wouldn't I'd probably try to be more good for the American people and try to get away from a disapproval waiting.
Okay. Now, if just say you were to be the president of the United States and you were very popular, to the popularity similar to incumbent president Christopher Oliva, what would you do if you had the same popularity?
Well, one thing is keep that going, and plus do more good for the American people, and maybe even run a second term. But also a main thing I want to do is also make Toys R Us great again. That is one of my big plans.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. What would you do to stop the war in Palestine and Israel if you win in 2032, assuming that the war didn't end in the next administration term?
Well, I will talk to Israel and Palestine's government and try to figure out a situation which both countries will be perfect with. And if they don't be okay with that, I say we, no matter what, should end the war for all those people on the ground, and I would make many chances for both of them to be peaceful about it.
Okay. "48% of Americans believe that Christina Haley is a threat to world peace. What is your response and how do you plan to tackle this?"
Well, I think she is really a number one threat to the United States, and she should be dealt with like we did with Osama bin Laden and killed. And we all, if the next administration doesn't do anything about Christina, we will personally take her out if the other administration did not do nothing.
Okay. Thank you for that. The incumbent president of Libya had designated Alvin and the Chipmunk as domestic terrorists due to an attack on JFK Airport, the Freedom Tower, and attempt to do the same on Times Square. What is your response, and how would your administration respond to domestic terrorism?
Well, we don't like terrorism, and no one should. And we will try to make steps to end terrorism all completely. And it would be a hard task, but we are planning to try to stop terrorism in the United States and many more. And we will we're gonna prevent any more of these terrorist attacks in America, and this will never happen again.
Okay. And how would you ensure that? Because that's a guarantee that you cannot make to the American public, because everybody knows not meeting is 100%.
Well, I didn't really say 100%. Okay, we will try to stop try to stop like what Evan and the chipmunks and Christina Haley did, and we are gonna try to prevent that to ever happen. I'm not always there's maybe a 40% chance we do it officially and end it all completely. It will be hard, and we will slowly make things to try to end it, like more background checks in airports and also checks to see what they have, kind of like what they do when you enter a plane, and that should be happening when you enter the airport, like they already do, but make it more stricter.
Right. So most Americans will not pick you for president of the United States. Why do you think that is?
Wait, huh? Okay,
Would you like me to repeat that?
yeah.
Most Americans, on average, when independently polled, have consistently said that they do not plan to vote for you for president. What would you do to change their voice or change their mind?
Well, the candidates and the situation of America, and if everything's going good, I think I could win. Okay, and I think the voters, it's really their choice, and the vote matters. Voting does matter. Every voice counts, and I think even a lot of people who know me, I am hoping I can get enough votes to win the Democrat nomination. And we will see in 2032 with the voters' voices. It's too early to tell.
Right. Okay, so moving on to the next question here. The Somali pirates have been attacking U.S. warships and cargo ships. The president has struck a deal with them, the incumbent president. However, they were recently spotted off the coast of Greece, a NATO ally. What would your administration response be if Greece was attacked and Article 5 of NATO was issued, pushing the United States into war? What is your response?
Well, I think what we will do is the most probably we will do is help our NATO allies and help Greece and help them in the if there was a war we would help them because we always have to support our NATO allies. If somebody attacks us, we always will help the person who was attacked, and we will always help our allies. And I think we would protect Greece and send a little bit of our military and also prevent Somalia pirates from doing this again with probably another treaty after the war.
Okay. So, who did you believe you will be up? Excuse me. What I would like to know is in my administration here, and excuse me, what we would like to know here at TNN is who do you believe Lewis and Maya will be up against in the 2028 presidential election, and who do you believe will win that election?
Well, I think Dash will most likely win. Dash is in the lead by a lot, but there was a chance for Leo. But I think most likely Dash will win. But with the primary and with the election, I think it will be a close one. But I do think if it's Dash versus Lewis, Dash wins. But if it's Leo versus Lewis, Lewis would win easily.
Right. And so, with that knowledge here, do you believe that Rainbow Dash will be the first animal to ever be elected to the White House? As every time that an animal has ran for the presidency, they always lost the White House. Do you believe that if Rainbow Dash won and end up winning, that will increase your probability of winning the White House too? Or will it only solidify that animals cannot be elected to the White House no matter how hard they try?
Well, I think if Dash wins, it will make my election campaign more easier because we don't even most likely Dash is not wanting a second term if she even wins, and I think we know that. So if that happens, most likely I will be the next nomination. And if she loses, I still think I would have a better chance. I'll still think I'll have a good chance. I'll just have a better chance if Dash won, and maybe even get an endorsement from Dash.
Right. So, with that being said, just say there was a scenario in which James Adele become the president elect due to some sort of fluke. In that type of scenario, what do you believe that would mean for the incumbent Democratic Party and the outgoing Republican Party? Would that mean that you will run independent instead of going toward the Democrats?
I will stay with the Democrats, really, no matter what. Um, I don't think one election would change my thinking for the party, and I'll stay Democrat as a thing. And I won't be independent if somehow James Adele wins.
Right. Okay. What is your response to a high third-party support for candidate James Adele, who hovers around 18 to 22% of the popular vote consistently and is expected to gain 3 electoral votes? If no candidate reaches 270 electoral votes to win, what is your response to this?
Well, I think if James Adele somehow blocks 270, I think that would just make a Republican president more likely to happen with the revoting. if kind of like that. If James Adele was at block 270 and then we moved, or if it was passed to the house, we would easily win.
Right, right. Okay. So, are you saying that in the possible future that if just say James Adele is to overperform expected in the polls, do you believe that the Democrats and the Republicans will be able to have a viable shot going forward in the server, or will this be an end of the era of the two-party dominance and the start and the beginning of a third-party dominance?
Well, I think it's really based on the candidates because if you see with James Adele does good with Leo as the Democrat, not as Dash, because a lot of Dash voters will vote James Adele, which gives James Adele only a chance of winning if Leo is the nomination, and if Leo's not the nomination, James Adele doesn't have enough support to actually win 270 or block 270. I think the
Right.
most James that will win is 3 or just 1.
And speaking on that, in a hypothetical scenario in which the incumbent president, President Oliva, is to run for a third and final term, when polled on Everyday American, they say this, the following, that 64% of respondents say that they believe that they will vote for the incumbent president if he was allowed a third term, up against Louis DeMaio, the official Republican nominee for president this election cycle, with only 31% of those saying that they would back him, with 6% going to James Adele. In another hypothetical scenario, to the Republican dropout Geoffrey Lee, the incumbent President Oliva expanded upon his popular margin with 68% of the popular vote, with 29% saying that they would support Geoffrey Lee in the Republican nomination if he was up against the incumbent president for a third and final term, with only 3% of the vote going to James Adele. When it is capitulated and seen in the overall electoral college vote count, and people are saying exactly what this is, that President Oliva will gain 516 electoral votes to Luis Amaya's 22 electoral votes, expanding his electoral margin by more than 100 electoral votes from 2024. Now, if you were to compare this to the Electoral College margin against Geoffrey Lee, the Republican dropout, incumbent President Oliva will gain 523 electoral votes to 15 electoral votes to Geoffrey Lee, a clear and solid wipeout. What is your opinion on this? Do you believe that the incumbent president is strong against any contender, despite the fact um, that the Republicans are doing quite well this election cycle? Do you think that means something for the Democratic Party? If so, what will that mean if you could not perform as well as the incumbent president?
Well, we all know Olivia is the most popular United States president and will be probably the only one in the solo. And what I think is I can never reach the 80 or 70 margin. I think nobody could actually reach the margin like Olivia did and is still doing. And Olivia is very popular and would if sh- if Olivia was able to win multiple terms, it would just be Olivia over and over and over because the people love Olivia more than any other candidate, and that would just give no one a shot of even winning.
Right. And so, speaking on that, the responders who responded in that same poll, we have, do you approve of the incumbent president? 65% of respondents say yes, to 19% saying that they disapprove of the president, and 16% saying that they are undecided. When compared to his vice president, Hanoi Kim, the approval rating is only 31% to 62% saying that they disapprove of the vice president, and 7% saying that they are undecided. Where are you in terms of your approval and disapproval for both parts of the administration, both the president and the vice president?
Well, I approve of Olivia and I disapprove of Kim.
Would you
Like a
like
lot of
to explain more about why you approve and disapprove each candidate?
sure. Well, with Kim, a lot of people and myself don't like Kim only those multiple reasons. And if I listed it all, it's gonna be even longer. But Kim, I just don't really like how like Kim is basically the establishment who's running and saying, you know, I can all do all this and doing nothing and thinking he can get the vote of the American people. Well, Chris is about the American people. Also, he's really a independent thinker, and that's good for the Democrats because he takes votes from the Republicans and he gets all that Democrat support. He can easily do a landslide, and everyone loves him because he's partisan and he supports Republican ideals and Democrat ideals, and I think that's more better than Leo Kim's far left ideals and all about stuff. So, yeah.
Right. And so moving on, we have here if the Republican presidential nominee Louis Amaya wins the White House, what would that mean for your planned presidential run in 2032?
Well, I still saying I will win no matter what. Will I will still win in 2032 if Lewis wins or not. It's just really if I want a higher percentage of winning the electorate. It would be a close election with Lewis and Maya versus me, and that could be more closer than a It would be obviously more closer than a Kim versus Lewis matchup.
Right. And so are you saying that with you in the head-to-head matchup against the incumbent president in a hypothetical scenario, just assuming that Louis Amaya wins the presidency, that it would be decided by one vote, basically?
Well, not that close. I think I would think really by the electoral vote, at best maybe 70 or like in the tens, but not like in the hundreds. Like it will
So are
be.
you saying that one state may decide the presidency, just like 2000?
I really think it's gonna probably be the swing states that decided. Obviously, probably the Rust Belt that would be one, or all those more.
Right. And so what makes you think that the Democratic Party will nominate you as their nominee for president in 2032? What makes you stand out against everybody else who still had not yet announced a presidential run for president on the Democratic Party's ticket?
Well, there's multiple things. One, I am a very popular giraffe. People know me from Toys R Us, which I now, as still as the CEO of Toys R Us, made Toys R Us coming to every single Macy's now, and building back the Toys R Us spirit, so I have a better chance. But I think they would nominate me because a lot of those kids from the 1980s and 1990s who are now growing up to vote, or even the 2000s now, who knows about Toys R Us, I could get those votes if they remember Toys R Us, which they probably
Right.
do.
So are you saying that you think that the only way that you have the ability to win is based on the sensation of nostalgia? However, most Americans now associate Toys R Us with bankruptcy. How do you plan to get around that?
Well, Toys R Us is coming back bigger than ever, and we are planning to make stuff better. With our partnership with Macy's, we are planning to open Toys R Us in every Macy's in America, which is 250 something. I forgot the
However, we would like to also note here that Macy's is also going bankrupt, closing most of the stores in suburban regions and only staying open in cities. Why do you think that your ability to come back will only be in the cities, not the nostalgia suburban region? Do you believe that most Americans will even care in the next 10 years when you plan a presidential run for the White House? That they will even choose you? Because by then, most Americans don't even know Toys R Us exists, especially in 4 years from now, most new voters will be young people who have never heard of Toys R Us. So the nostalgia wouldn't be there. So, what will there be any incentive for anybody to vote for you?
Yes, because I also is planning to have Democrat and Republican policies. Also, I will plan to m- make more good stuff for the American people. Um, I would help more suburban areas grow, and I am it will I will help suburban areas, and also by the way, Macy's is not closing that much stores. They still have the 200 stores.
So you admit that Macy's so closing stores.
Well, only because that was before Toys R Us came in. That was before, and they are actually having a rebound.
Okay, and how many people, if we were to do a TNN poll, if I were to do a TNN polling right now and ask everyday Americans how many people go and find themselves shopping at Macy's, I guarantee you, out of 100 respondents, only 20% of those will say that they shop at Macy's. Only 10% will say they go to Macy's backstage, which is where Toys R Us is located inside of Macy's.
Well,
Most
we not.
Americans, on average, do not see or even attempt to go up to the third floor to go see Toys R Us. What makes people think they have the same sensation of nostalgia from the 1980s as they do in 2032 in the next 4 years on its way?
Well, we're not just opening stores in Macy's. That's just one of the many stuff we opening. We have stole Geoffrey toy boxes in Kroger's in the southern states. Plus, we have the Toys R Us mall locations in the Mall of America, Minnesota, and the New Jersey American Dream Mall. Plus a standard Toys R Us store in Texas, and more to come. We and also at airports and um sea places. We are planning to open many of Toys R Us the coming
Okay,
year.
so you said early in the interview that you are the CEO of Toys R Us. Is that correct?
Yes.
What would you do if you were to be elected president of the United States? You obviously cannot, according to the laws of the United States, when you take oath and you be inaugurated, what would you do to the corporation? Will you dilute it? Will you declare bankruptcy? Will you sell the business? What are the plans going forward for Toys R Us? Clearly, you cannot run Toys R Us and a country simultaneously. There's a conflict of interest.
Well, one of the things is I am already knowing of who could be the next CEO, and also I do have family members. If you remember the 1980 ads and the older ads, I do have a family, a wife, and a kids that are now enough to be actually adults now. I have a son and I have a daughter, so I could just give them the business, and we would still be good, and we would keep on going.
Right. And so, recently, your most recent response here, when it regarding the alien, you said in the server, the Discord server, that the only way to defeat the aliens would be to give them toys. Are you saying
That,
that you're
that was a
Santa
joke.
Claus and that your only diplomacy tactic is to give toys to people just to get out of problems that make you uncomfortable?
That was actually a joke in the server. That wasn't actually my real thing. That was actually a joke in the server because of my chemical, and I'm
Right.
actually
And
being real.
so, if you were to say that, just say to a diabolical dictator who doesn't have a humor at all, are you saying that, when you joke around, that you could possibly send the United States into war?
I'm not actually gonna give. I'm not gonna actually do that. That was
So
actually
what
an
would you
interesting.
do?
I would actually try to get peace and not actually get the United States in more and actually be logical and not just give them toys.
Okay, so let's give you a hypothetical scenario. Let's talk about Somalia pirates. Let's see what you would do in this regard. So, what would your administration do with the Somalia pirates hijacking warships and cargo ships from the United States? What would you do if they were off the coast of Greece? NATO ally. What would you do in a hypothetical scenario if they decide to make a move to attack NATO?
Well, one thing is try to one peace with them, and if that really doesn't work because it looks like they
Yes, but can you
really don't.
elaborate on how you will get to peace? Anybody could say that they want to do peace, but your
We would
action
meet.
speaks more than your words. So, can you explain more?
We would meet with the pirates and try to get peace. And if they don't want to stop hijacking our cargo ships and go and attack Greece, we um we will fight them, and they will probably peace with before a year because we are a strong country.
So according to international polls and international voters, most people say that if you were to become the next president of the United States, that you would destroy the image of the United States when it comes to respect to the nation, and they cannot take your administration seriously. How effective as a president will you be in terms of diplomatic relations when it comes to international affairs?
Well, I know a lot about overseas because as a business giraffe. But I know a lot of leaders that I am actually cool with. Toys R Us is fully still open with Canada. I'm cool with the leader of Canada. I'm kind of cool with the UK Prime Minister. I'm very good with a lot of people because I talk to them and I try to make deals and a lot of stuff. I know about international stuff. So I think we wouldn't be a joke to a lot of people who actually know about me, kind of like Canada and more.
Right. So let's ask you something. Let's see how much you're knowledgeable you are. Let's see how knowledgeable you are about geography, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, what is the sea between Egypt and Saudi Arabia? What is that canal called? You know we can hear you typing, right?
No, I know.
In real life.
I realistically actually don't even know in real life.
Okay, so that is called the Suez Canal. That is exactly where the Somalia pirates are. So are you saying you don't know where the Somalia pirates and particularly are located, particularly the country of Somalia?
I know the country of Somalia. I
Where
really
is
don't.
that?
It's in Africa.
Where in Africa?
Like the it's like on the it's I think it's on like the sides of Africa, in one of the two sides, like the behind side or the front side. Well,
Right,
not the front, but
right. And so with that knowledge, are you thinking that you're going to be confident most American when it comes to your inequipped knowledge of geography? How do you expect to become president and be able to get us out of international affairs when in regards to the threat of the United States if you cannot know geography of your own planet?
well, one thing is realistically, I I'm probably gonna be more better known in the upcoming years. I'm gonna be preparing more, and I'll actually learn about more stuff. We are still so early, and plus really I'm in real life. I really also have to do school and stuff, so I will learn stuff, and I hopefully and probably by the time in September, I will probably know way much more about Geoffrey.
Okay.
The
So
thing.
thank you for that. So we have a final question for you that we would like to ask. Is in a hypothetical scenario in which you become the president, who do you plan to put on your cabinet?
Well, I think I will probably put some Democrats and some Republicans. Probably some close friends of mine. Not really close. I think some people obviously in the circle. I think I will probably, for the best interests, put mostly Democrats, and I will look to see people, because I really don't control people's minds. It's up to the people that I talk to, and we never know who will actually say yes. And I will probably get Republicans and Democrats.
Right. And so, with that being said, if there was a Supreme Court opening during your administration, and let's say there are two seats available for you to appoint a new Supreme Court justice, if you were to do that, what political party affiliation would you choose, and who would they be? Or is it too early to tell or make that determination at the time?
I think it's too early because I still don't know of who could it be, because we'll have to ask people, and we don't even know what will happen because we're so early on. And we will know these stuff more when the election comes closer.
Right. And so, if you were to pick a Supreme Court justice nominee, would you pick them based on their stance when it comes to abortion and women's rights?
Um, well, I'm kind of moderate on that issue, so I would probably not really pick it off an issue. I would probably pick it off probably by party, and probably by some other policies, because there has to be multiple policies or
Right.
just one. Like
Okay.
it's like saying you appoint like one guy about only one thing, and if any other voting happens, like they won't be really a good thing.
Right. Okay. And do you have anything else you would like to add to that?
No.
Okay. And thank you for your time with us. We had a great time. Thank you for showing up for the interview. We hope that you had enjoyed it. Would you like to make your closing argument?
Um, I would just say thing, Geoffrey the Giraffe for president, and we're gonna make Toys R Us like 1980, and make the United States perfect and keep it perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.